talking about non-standard units of measurement. So when you're measuring something, maybe you don't have a ruler, you don't have something that can help you measure it precisely. You can always find objects that are the same length. So that's what we're going to talk about, is using objects to measure stuff. All right? The first thing that you want to do is when you're measuring with a non-standard unit, you want to make sure that you line up your non-standard things edge to edge. You want to make sure you have a straight line. You don't want to overlap. Make sure there's no gaps, and they all need to be the same size. You don't want to measure something with books and then use books that are different sizes. That's not going to work. You want to use the same size. So here we're going to use hexagons to measure this picture that we have here. Whoops. We're going to use hexagons that we have here to measure Northwood Elementary's picture here. So there's 1. I wonder how many it's going to be. I'm going to guess 7. So I don't want to overlap them. I don't want to do that. I want to line them up straight. I want them right next to each other. Let's get the next one going here. Here's 3. I want them end to end. I don't want them to overlap. I don't want any gaps. I don't want it to look like this. I don't want there to be any gaps between those two. That's not going to give me a good measurement. So there's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. Here's number 6. Whoops, our shape got big. Oh no! Shrink it back. Shrink it back. We gotta get it back to the normal size. There. Oops, I did it again. Can you believe it? There we go. He's close. He's close enough. You get the point. And then we'll go here, bring another one, and then we'll bring another one. The last one. There he goes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this picture would be 8 hexagons long, right? So when you're measuring with non-standard units, make sure you go from one end of the picture to the other, or one end of whatever you're measuring to the other. Make sure they're in a straight line. Make sure that they don't overlap each other. You don't want your hexagons on top of each other. And you don't want your hexagons to have gaps. And your hexagons should all be the same size. Now, the bigger the objects that you use for this, the less that you're going to need. So you can see that this marker is bigger than one hexagon. So you can see there, it's going to take less markers to measure this. So here we see 1 marker. This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hexagons, and it's probably only going to take 2 markers. Probably only going to take 2 markers to do this. Let's move that marker. So you can see it took 2 markers. So the bigger the objects you use to measure, the less it takes to do it. All right?